So now on to the hard part. How do you acquire the real estate? You need money. Obvious, right? But maybe not so obvious ways to get that money. One way that I think is really interesting to me is crowdfunding. And there have been people who have crowdfunded a house purchase, but you've got to inspire people to donate to you. So you've got to pull at their heartstrings or get their emotion up. So it probably has to be a house with historical value that you're going to fix up, and you're going to do something for the community. I suppose you could do a business as well, but it should be something that gives back to the community in order to inspire people. But you've got to generate that emotion to get people to donate, and that's the tough part. So if you could find a way to do that, then I think it would be a great way. And I know people who have crowdfunded Udemy courses like this one. I haven't, but I know of people who have, which is amazing to me. But yeah, again, I think if you can generate some kind of emotion, you could crowdfund almost anything really, but as long as you can generate that emotion. So yeah, of course, mortgages are an option, loans. So you've got to consider contracts, titles, deeds, all that stuff. Really do your research here. There's been quite a lot of land fraud in Japan, and I'm sure elsewhere as well. So really make sure that you are dealing with the real people when you buy something. And some of these criminals, they are so good at this stuff. So you really have to be careful and make sure you're dealing with a real estate agent, a real estate company that's legitimate. So all those things you need to be sure of. So ways to fund your real estate, as mentioned, there's crowdfunding, but it could be a bit of a challenge, but think about it. Mortgages, of course, are probably the most common way, the traditional way. We have a 30-year mortgage on a house in Tokyo, and that interest is, it's not a set interest rate, so that's a little bit scary, but interest rates in Japan are pretty low, so that's good. So really think about, do you want a fixed rate or is a flexible rate okay? Think about that. So a mortgage typically requires a down payment of 20% or more on the value of the house. So for a lot of people, coming up with that 20% is very difficult. You may need a loan to come up with that 20%, but if you can save up, I really encourage that. I think that's a lot better than getting a loan. In some cases, it would be possible to get a loan for the whole cost of the house, but the interest rate will be higher, so it's better to get a mortgage if you can. So again, a little bit more on crowdfunding. It involves raising small amounts of money on the internet. GoFundMe, can't think of them off the top of my head. Indiegogo is another crowdfunding site you might want to consider. Kickstarter is the most famous one to me. But anyway, think about that. So again, crowdfunding might be your only option if you can't get a mortgage, and some people can't. So you may need to think of a non-traditional way to do it. If you've got a great business idea, so if you could fix up some place and make it into a B&B or something, I think it's got some potential, especially if it's got historical value or it's a beautiful building that's fallen into disrepair that you could fix up. Again, if you can inspire people to donate, it's got some potential there.